Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. Today is your council recap. That can mean only one person is here. It's the City Administrator Chad Brecklin. Chad, welcome back. How you doing today?
Good, Jeremy. How are you doing?
I'm pumped. Ready to rock and roll on this council recap. We'll just get right started. We didn't have any proclamations or anything off the top, so we're going to just jump right in. We start with the Plan Commission and an ordinance approving a request, a rezone request here. What do we got going on?
Yes, this is a vacant lot on Index Road to the east of Fish Hatchery Road in North Fitchburg. And there is a developer who, Gorman and Company, who is proposing to build a total of approximately 145 units in two buildings, one of which would be a 60-unit workforce or affordable housing building, and the second would be an approximately 85-unit market rate building. So this is the first step in a really generally fairly lengthy step related to development, is getting this rezone done. This developer is currently applying for some WIDA tax credits related to affordable and workforce housing. So I'm sure that this is one of the things that they needed to have done in order to answer all of the appropriate things on their application, how they would hope to be presenting it.
Part of the process.
Yep, exactly.
Another process, we got a rezone and conditional use here for Melissa Ricciardi.
Yeah, so this is in regards to a property on Lacey Road, just to the east of City Hall and on the south side of the road, maybe half mile, 3/4 of a mile to the east. And the individual wants to do kind of a small business, cafe, small events, and so forth on an old, I'll call it small barn, nice shed on the property, and city staff right in advance of the Plan Commission determined that effectively a rezone was not needed for them to do the business activities that they wanted to do. So the rezone was withdrawn at the Plan Commission, and then the Common Council, as an administrative move, postponed this item indefinitely, which means it effectively is done. It's not going to go anywhere. And the business owner was able to get a conditional use permit for their activities at the Plan Commission as well. So this really came back more as an informational item to Common Council, kind of let them know what was up.
All right, we move on to Board of Public Works, a resolution approving an agreement of a subdivision improvements on Outlot 2. This is in the No Oaks Ranch area.
Yeah, so this is part of our uptown neighborhood. There's the undeveloped infill development opportunity north of Lacey Road and west of Highway 14. And right now the city has been working with a developer on the overall area, but right now this particular item is dealing with one specific lot that the developer wanted to move forward in advance of the rest of the project in order to hit construction timelines and seasons appropriately. So what this is relatively standard subdivision improvement agreement that was approved by Common Council last night.
All right, next resolution is authorizing an action in certain court. The word is difficult for me.
Yeah, so what this is here is we have an outlot that was dedicated to the city for certain purposes when this part of our community developed. And we're talking about an outlot near McKee Road and Triverton Pike. And because that lot was dedicated to the city with specific purposes listed, the city can't do anything with that lot other than what falls within those purposes. There's no one that we can talk to in regards to this because we can't find anybody. This is a development that was put together 30, 40 years ago. And what we needed to do then, and we've done it in other situations, we need to go to circuit court at Dane County and ask for them to allow a new use for the city. So what this outlot is intended to be used for is it will be the south terminus of the north-south Madison Metro BRT line. And it will house have a small building that will probably have some restroom facilities, perhaps some charging capabilities for the bus, and I think a multi-use path might be on this property as well. So this really action is needed in order to authorize staff to go to circuit court.
All right. Very interesting.
Yeah, it's one of those
unique.
things. Yeah, it's one of those things. We don't deal with it a ton, but we do deal with it every few years or so. I think this is the second or third one in the time that I've been in this role that we've had this sort of situation where the dedicated purposes didn't fit with what the city would like to do with that lot. So, yeah.
All right. Resolution here authorizing rejection of bids for an Area H stormwater pond projects.
Yeah, so we're back in the same uptown neighborhood that we had talked about a couple of items ago. The city had planned to do a regional stormwater project there. Bids came in significantly over engineers' estimates, and ultimately the property owner was facing a pretty significant charge per acre for that pond to go in. And the city worked with the property owner and potential developer on an alternative solution, which now means that the stormwater needs for that area will be taken care of on the lands that the developer is working on themselves, and that this pond more than likely will not be needed. So this is now the formal rejection of those bids.
All right, we move on to resolution amending the 2025 general fund budget for utilities and telephone service.
Yeah, so we had a few locations throughout the city that the utilities and telephone costs at the end of the year were higher than what was budgeted. It seems like the big driver of that was some heating costs in November and December in many of those situations. So this is simply a budget amendment. It's moving money within that department's existing budget to cover these expenses. It's not new money being allocated to cover those expenses.
All right, we move on to resolution amending the 2026 sewer utility and capital project fund balance. This is for the Badger lift station replacement.
Yeah, so we have a joint agreement with the city of Madison in regards to this lift station. It serves a portion of Madison, South Madison, as well as the Southdale neighborhood that was attached to the city of Fitchburg at the end of, near the end of 2022. That lift station is at the end of its useful life. It needs to be upgraded to today's standards. I believe the distribution of the cost share is 2/3 to the city of Madison, 1/3 to the city of Fitchburg, and we needed a budget amendment because the cost of this project is more than was originally anticipated to be. I think our share will be roughly $560,000, if I recall correctly, from all the docs on this, and we needed a budget amendment to cover an additional $160,000 of that total that I'd mentioned. So when the town of Madison neighborhood was attached to the city of Fitchburg, there was effectively some settlement conversations as far as town assets, and the city's share of that financial settlement of the town assets was set aside for situations over the next few years that might require significant investment in the Southdale neighborhood. So that pot of money, if you will, was identified as the appropriate place to take the $160,000 in additional money that was needed.
That's being prepared right there.
Yeah,
right? Being ready. Well, you never know what you're
exactly.
facing. So pretty cool.
Yep.
All right, on a resolution here, we're just going to call it the resolution for 2026 sidewalk replacement.
Sure.
Just can't talk today.
Yeah. So every year, generally speaking, our engineering department does sidewalk replacements, which really ends up to being, small individual sections of sidewalks that have either cracked or otherwise heaved and now create some tripping hazards or other safety concerns. I think in this particular case, the vast majority of this work is kind of going to be in the northwest quadrant of the city. And this is just the first step in that assessment process. Where sidewalks exist on both sides of the street, the city will be, the cost will be split 50-50 between the property owner and the adjoining property. So
what you see behind the scenes right there. All right, we're moving on to a resolution approving an affidavit of correction on the public pedestrian bike path easement maintenance agreement assignment for Lot 66, Outlot 44, Outlot 42. It just keeps going.
Yeah, it does. So this basically, there was an error in an easement in the maintenance agreement. So this is an affidavit that needs to be filed to correct that error. So that was approved by Common Council.
Those things are statutory, right? So why some might be like, why are you bringing this to council?
Because it's actually recorded on at court, so to speak, or in Dane County, at clerk of courts. So Yeah, it needs to be formally updated, and that requires approval from the City Council to authorize staff to do those things.
Speaking of approval, we have a resolution approving plans and property use agreements on Outlot 8, the second edition of the Highlands of Seminole.
Yeah, so this is an area just to the north of Yarmouth Greenway and west of Longford Terrace. It's a city-owned parcel that nothing was really being done with it, and a nearby property owner, her husband had passed away, was avid in the biking community. This parcel is adjacent to the Capital City Trail, and ultimately they approached the city about creating Kyle Steigert Greenway in memory of Kyle. The city worked with the organization and developed a process that could be utilized to approach potential further situations that might arise similar to this, so that there was some consistency on how the city might approach that. And in this particular case, the Common Council last night approved the agreement to improve the property and basically the ongoing maintenance associated with it. And how this arrangement works is obviously the group put together some plans. The city and the group met to develop and finalize those plans. And the city expects that the improvements and maintenance are provided by this organization, which has now become a 501c3. So they will deposit money to the city, as they already have, for some work that has already begun there. And then the city will use those funds to make those improvements and for ongoing maintenance.
All right. Well, we'll keep you up to date as that project moves along. We move on here to a resolution to replace some SCBA compressors and fill stations at the fire department.
Yep. Each of the fire stations has compressors and fill stations to fill their SCBA or air tanks that the firefighters use. And they are both at their end of life, and this was a budgeted expense. And
then we have Fire Station 3 CIP network equipment refresh as it stands.
Yeah, so also a budgeted expense, equipment that is being replaced on its replacement cycle, which is roughly 5 to 6 years.
And then we have budget season all year long here at the City of Fitchburg, adopting the 2027-2036 Capital Improvement Plan CIP schedule.
It does feel like it's always budget season. So this is really the start of the 2027 budget season. The 2027 budget season in 2026. So our capital improvement plan is think big ticket items. Not related to city operations on the day-to-day level. So we're talking snow plows, police cars, fire trucks, buildings, those sorts of things. And this is the schedule that we'll use throughout the year from a timeline perspective that identifies when departments need to have their docs submitted, when there'll be public hearings, when the alders might need to submit their any amendments, and when the budget will ultimately be adopted. So there weren't a number of significant changes to it at all. Our finance director, Misty Dodge, pointed those couple of small changes out during the finance committee meeting, and the schedule was approved last night.
And don't worry, we'll be talking more about this process as it comes up here a little bit later on our regular updates with you, so we'll break that down here coming up. We have finally a resolution here accepting donations for 2025. So each year, this is a standard...
Yep.
I'm stealing your thunder here.
You are. Feel free to run with it, Jeremy. Feel free to run with it.
Well, it's pretty cool. Stuff gets donated sometimes to staff, and as part of that, it has to be formally put into the record, so to speak.
Yeah. So the city has an ordinance that requires donations to be accepted by the Common Council. And the process that's utilized for that is that throughout the calendar year, departments are expected to maintain a list of items that are donated, what those items are, what they were used for, and so forth. And that list is compiled and then presented to the Common Council after the conclusion of each year for formal acceptance. And, that list is part of the packet so people can see what was donated to the city and its various departments. But by and large, it's usually food related,
Yep.
typically around the holidays. And there are other situations like think of the community night out for the police department and those sorts of things where donations may have been taken to help that, help support that event. So that's what it's there. And again, there's an entire list that's in the packet.
All right, the final item for the night was MIMS claim and settlement.
Yeah, so a person has filed a claim against the city and specifically the police department. So the Common Council went into closed session to discuss the status of that claim and possible settlement offer that was presented to the city and how the city might elect to respond to that.
Next Committee of the Whole meeting is happening on February 25th. It is at the Village of Oregon at the beautiful library there. So excited to be out there. And our next Common Council meeting is on March 10th. Appreciate it as always.
Thank
Let
you.
me steal your thunder too.
Yeah,
Oh boy.
feel free.
No, you know everything. Way more than this guy.
That's debatable.
Maybe together we can, Appreciate your time as always.
Thanks.